Hey, I'm ZSHplays. Welcome to the Moonlight world. This is a zoo with a difference. It's a zoo that you visit as the sun goes down and then explore during the night. It is packed full of nocturnal animals and it is finally time to tour it. Let's check it out. Alright, the sun is setting and here we are at the entrance to the Moonlight world. I built this zoo for the Twilight pack and we'd almost finished it by Christmas, but then San Bernardino Zoo happened and I've had like no time to work on this zoo since then, but I finally found the time to put in all the little finishing touches that I wanted to do so it was ready for a tour. So let's head on in and take a look. So the concept of the zoo is based on the Singapore night safari. So you're supposed to arrive and the zoo opens shortly before sunset. You see the first few animals while it's still light and then it gets dark and you've got a whole load of nocturnal animals to look at. So we've got the ticket booths here, and then, hey, and then we'll move on into the first animals through the ticket gates. The first area is a North American area, again based on the Twilight pack. I know if you are American, then the Twilight pack probably wasn't your favourite pack because most of the animals can be found in your backyard, but as an English guy, I really enjoyed it because we do not get raccoons or skunks. We certainly don't get wombats, so it was really cool to see these animals in the game. I have never seen a raccoon in the wild, obviously. I've seen once in a zoo and that's it, but this is the first habitat you come to, Raccoon Woods. The main theme for this habitat was to try and build a walkover for the animals that was as small as possible. I think this is as small as you can get it to work. See if we can see any raccoons in here. Not over there, but they can walk from one side of the habitat to the other. Might be over here by their food. There's one chilling out over there. In the background is the flying forest. That was the first habitat in the zoo. We'll be visiting that one after dark. That is where the bats live. Put a load of city stuff in the background as well to make this feel like it is in Singapore or somewhere like that. So that is the flying forest. And then around here we have the skunk habitat. Got some sort of backstage breeding pens here that I used to try and get get all the varieties of the red fox, which I finally managed. That was not a quick process. So let's check out the skunk habitat. This is based on a habitat at the Singapore night safari, actually. I think it was for a fossa or something like that, if I recall correctly. But we can just see one in the background there. But yeah, this is a sandbox zoo, by the way. Very rarely build anything in sandbox, but I really wanted to try and do a zoo, especially with it being set at night. That is really difficult to do in franchise mode, so I decided to build it in sandbox, and it means we can build some smaller little habitats like this for the skunks as well. I really like how this one looks with all the trees painted onto the windows. Most of the buildings in here are built predominantly with the Twilight pack for obvious reasons, but it's such a good pack for building. I think it's the most underrated Planet Zoo pack for me. Just so many amazing building pieces in that pack, especially all these woods are really nice. Made it as lush as possible in here, seeing as we're in Singapore. Perfect environment for this kind of tropical scenery. We'll move on to the next habitat, which is for the beavers. So this is based on, there they are. This is based on a habitat at the Wildlands Adventure Park in Holland, which looks like a really good zoo. I've not been there myself, but I absolutely loved this habitat. I don't think it's there anymore, or it's got different animals in it or something, but this little sawmill, which obviously is perfect for beavers, seeing as that's what they do. I pretty much copied it exactly for this habitat. Looks like they're about to go for a swim. Pretty sizable habitat this. We've got a beaver lodge as well, which I built with the little sticks. I think it's quite effective. And then they've got their enrichment over there so that they can cut down that little tree, which they already have done. And yeah, let's carry on to the next habitat, which is for pretty much all the varieties of the red fox, hence the breeding pens earlier. So I called it the red fox forest. We've got two aviary style habitats on opposite sides of each other, and on the left we have the red foxes, and then on the right we've got the silver ones, which I think are the rarest, or one of the rarest. Maybe the piebald ones are rarer, but it took me a very long time to get those. So again, pretty big habitat, quite a few foxes in there, a little family of them, and the same around here. There's one, and very cute. Whole family are inside at the moment. The red foxes are outside though. And we'll continue on, round to the Armadillo adventure. So this is a animal talk area. Looks like there's one going on now, so we'll check that out. This would be the last thing in the zoo that you would see during the last of the sunlight. We've got this set up as an animal talk, so there's one now. The armadillos are just running around in here. And then the guests can walk around the habitat with them. There's a little display table here as well that they would sit on. I'll show that in a cinematic. It's so cute. And then as the sun sets, we can make our way round to the Asian part of the zoo. We've got 3 habitats in here, one of which I just added in recently. The first is the Tiger Safari. This is based on another night safari in Bali. And as you can see, it gives you a pretty in-your-face experience with the tigers. You actually just drive a van in and you literally feed the tigers from this van. I've had to trap the guests in there. There's no way to get them to walk in and out, so they're not particularly happy about it. But they should be getting a good view. I don't know why they're complaining, to be honest. If we get inside the van, you can see there's a pretty good view of the tigers from here. I think this would be a pretty cool experience in real life. This would be like a paid experience you'd have to pay extra for to do. So yeah, let's check out the next habitat, which is the binturongs. This is the latest habitat in the zoo. It's heavily based on my Wetlands Florida binturong habitat. Just needed something to fill this space in here, and it goes in really nicely. Just sits nicely in with all the tropical foliage here. They can climb up on all these vines and ropes here, get up on top of their shelter, or get into the tree. On to the next habitat, which is one of my favourites. It's the red panda habitat. This is based on the Singapore night safari. We've got a whole load of climbing for them in here, which, as you can see, they are using. Really cute little habitat, little tree house for them in the back there. We've got these spotlights all around, which sort of gently light the area in a reddish kind of light, which is what they have in the night safari. And some nice Indian style theming here, which I took from, I think, the second zoo I ever made, which is definitely not YouTube worthy. But I like that little thing that I made, so I stole that and put that in here. Got the gift shop as well, which is based on the one at Tecton Zoo. This would be the exit, but I've left my favourite habitat to last, so let's go and check that out now. It's the Flying Forest. This is one of my favourite habitats I've ever built. This was built as my early release video for the Twilight Pack, and just the bats are so cool in this game. The moment I realised you could make the habitats invisible and build massive structures like this and have the bats just flying around in it was one of my favourite Planet Zoo moments. It just looks so cool. You just cannot tell that they're in exhibit boxes. Them flying around. It's so atmospheric in here. I really like it. There's so many different animations they have as well, for like flying down to the little water thing here, eating the fruit. Got their nest boxes as well. And yeah, definitely one of my favourite ever habitats. It's only a tiny little zoo, this, as you can see. That really is the whole zoo, but I really wanted to concentrate on the nocturnal animals and mainly the animals from the Twilight Pack. I think it's small but perfectly formed. I had a lot of fun building it. I really hope you enjoyed this. It's been about 6 months since the last zoo tour, so a lot of fun to do another one. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you again for some more Planet Zoo. Bye.